Wizards of the Coast continues to compete in the Woke Olympics, and at this point, I think they might be winning, or they're at least a front runner. And in this case, they are removing the term witch from the game because it is a religious identifier or whatever. I can't believe I'm a Christian having to defend this nonsense. You know, here we are in this clown world. Let's go ahead and dive into this article coming to us from Bounding Into Comics. So here we have what is even going on? Like, they did the race swap Lord of the Rings characters already, and I covered that when that happened a few months ago. It was like, hey, we're gonna have this promotion where we have Lord of the Rings characters, but we want to make them unrecognizable so you don't even know who they are. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So this time, Magic the Gathering head designer says Wizards of the Coast avoiding the term witch because it's a real-world religious identifier. Considering retiring Druid and Shaman for same reasons. Bro, this is all fiction. And before people come at me and be like, well, how are you a Christian defending this? How are you? It's not real, okay? It's not real. It's a game. It's like a Druid or a Shaman or a witch is a fictional character in this case. It's fantasy. Same with like demons and stuff, because like I play Devil May Cry. I love Devil May Cry. And it's like, wait, you're a Christian who plays Devil May Cry? They're not actual demons or devils in the game. It's fictional. It's just like an elf or something. All right, but let's unpack all this. So here in the article, it says, in continuing their campaign to make their once beloved tabletop offerings as inclusive and unoffensive as possible, Magic the Gathering head designer Mark Rosewater has revealed that not only has Wizards of the Coast begun avoiding the term witch because it's a real-world religious identifier, but the company is also looking to retire the Druid and Shaman character types for the same reason. Just clown world we're in right now. This is the thing, you can't exist without offending somebody. You might as well say what you want to say, do what you want to do. You're going to offend somebody no matter what. You can never please everybody no matter what you do. So you just got to just do your thing. And to completely make your game unrecognizable, to remove these from the game just makes no sense at all. Who are they trying to appease in this case? Is it going to be people actually paying for and playing the game? Most likely not. I didn't even know this was a controversial thing in the first place. I think what happens with Wizards of the Coast is they're just like, what can we make up that can be offensive that we can change, you know? All right, then. Rosewater, who has served his current position since 2003, confirmed Wizard of the Coast's new approach to such terms while speaking with fans on his personal Tumblr blog. That's the root of a lot of the problem here, Tumblr. You're talking to the Tumblrites, man. Some of the biggest bottom feeders imaginable. Asked on September 28th by fellow Tumblr user Follipede, why isn't witch a type? It seems like it has a much stronger identity than warlock, Rosewater asserted, which is a real-world religious identifier, so we chose to avoid it. You know, I'm surprised he didn't say because of the gendered speak. Even though warlock's like a dude witch. Why can't you have a regular witch if you already have a warlock? This doesn't make any sense to me at all. Following up on the designer's answer, another player at a Goat Chariot Rider further pressed if witch is excluded because of its significance as a real-world religious identifier. Why are shaman and druid creature types? Oh no. So that, you know, here they are making an actual valid point, but instead the Wizard of the Coast dude's like, maybe you're right. To this inquiry, Rosewater revealed that we are currently examining that exact topic. Wow. Okay. In turn, dedicated Turtle Angel asked if Wizards of the Coast was considering retiring Druid and Shaman or bringing Witch to the table. The designer explicitly confirmed the former. So what, are you just going to have humans now? Here, you can play as humans. That's it. Orcs are already offensive because they think that's talking about black people, which really says a lot about them if they think of black people automatically when they think of orcs. Same with that like flying monkey class as well. You're really exposing your own sounds like you're exposing your own issues and not something that actual people in the regular world are thinking about. Answering one final question on the topic, Rosewater met with Melimoth's question of, is there a particular reason it is more acceptable in card names than as a creature type? With the answer, creature types are used for vocabulary for how people group cards together in a way card titles aren't. For example, priest has existed in card names since the early days of Magic, but no one is building a priest deck, he ultimately affirmed. Our issue is people using vocabulary as game terms in a way where it takes meaning beyond just identifying a particular card. I don't know why this makes sense. If you're playing a fictional character, if you're a fictional class, so on and so forth, what difference does it make? You're not playing as yourself. So if you want to play as a cult leader even, why not? It's a video game. You play something like Morrowind. Oh, let's join this cult in the game. It's not. It's fiction. It's just goofy stuff. Like, what? The next day, Rosewater would further note that despite both terms being placed under consideration for removal for the game, the addressing of one was considered by Wizards of the Coast to be more pressing than the other. Receiving a message from Andy Montalban in which they implored, please don't phase out druids. I've enjoyed seeing local Celtic culture, history represented, and unlike witches, they're not a sinister depiction. If magic can handle exaggerated fantasy clerics, angels, and demons, I think we deserve druids alongside them. Christian symbols have already crowded out pagan alternatives in too many places. The designer admitted, Druid is far less of an issue than Shaman. This is like a joke. We're really dissecting a fictional universe here. Like, Shaman, Druid, this is less offensive. This is, oh my gosh. Remember when gamers, we were outcasts, right? And now it's just like, oh, let's try our best to make gamers conform as much as possible to this ideology that tries to offend as little people as possible in a fantasy universe that ain't real. All right. That's where we're at right now. As noted, the instance of self-censorship is but the latest instance of Wizards of the Coast taking a more safe approach to their content. Previously, the tabletop publisher has both removed a history of enslavement from the lore of the Hadozi species in Dungeons and Dragons due to some players finding the language to be offensive to Black people. As well as undertaking an internal effort to avoid using the term tribal in regards to Magic the Gathering due to its negative connotations. Dude, they are winning these woke Olympics right now. This is getting just purely insane. This is, wow. Not only that, but the publisher has also taken steps to discontinue use of half species, as they found the entire concept to be inherently racist. Oh, because of course. Bro, this is a joke. Gaming and nerd hobbies, tabletop, comic books, all that sort of stuff has turned into a giant joke. This is what happens when you just try to appease the mainstream people instead of actual gamers, actual tabletop players, all that sort of stuff. You know, the people have just really walked in, hijacked our hobbies. Not everyone has to like it. That's the thing. Not everyone has to play it. I know some Christians who would not play Magic the Gathering, for example. But instead of having to change absolutely everything about it, hey, maybe that's not for those people who don't feel comfortable playing it. But, dude, but they're not even trying to appease Christians in this case. They are trying to appease the new religion that has hijacked everything, and that is woke ideology. So this is, being a nerd this day and age, it's it's a struggle, man. This is why nerds really need to make their own stuff, because once these things have hit the mainstream, they've changed everything beyond recognition. Just we think as nerds, when people are like, oh, let us in on your hobby, let us in, let us join in, you know, I think most nerds just thought, okay, more people to join in, this sounds fun. And what we didn't anticipate happening was the complete and utter hijacking of the things that we loved. We've just seen it happen absolutely everywhere. I cover this all the time on my channel. Seen it with gaming, with comic books, with movies surrounding nerd culture, and in this case with tabletop. So it's like, no, we have to rise up again, and nerds have to start making their own stuff, just like the Rippaverse is doing with you know, their line of comic books, and which I am so stoked to see that doing well. But yeah, we just need more of that. Nerds have to rise up again, because we have become mainstream in a way, but we really haven't. What has honestly happened is that in trying to accept more people, the mainstream has latched on to the nerd culture because, hey, you know, oh, it's cool now. It's cool now. We want to be in on this. But they've taken the heart and soul of what nerd culture actually is. So rather than just becoming one of us, they've pushed us out of our own spaces. That's why we need new spaces. We need new things, because everything is being changed just completely beyond recognition. So there we go. Another L for Wizards of the Coast. Surprise, surprise. Not really. It's only going to continue to get worse from here. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to read your Bible today. And if you want me to read the Bible to you, you can hear me on my new channel, Bible Time with Melanie Mack. Thank you again. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.